can identify high probability bets? Well, that's what we're going to go over in today's live. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to teach you guys exactly how you can identify high percentage bets. All right, so this is very important when it comes down to being able to select certain plays here and there, because you want to set yourself up to be successful. So what you got to do is exactly what I'm going to teach you in this live. All right, so get your pen, your papers, get it all ready. Make sure you guys comment if you can hear me, so that way I know you guys can hear me or not. All right, got to make sure that you guys can hear me. Situating just a couple more things here, getting everything locked and loaded and ready to go for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about here, like I said, it's going to be how to identify high percentage bets. All right, it's very important, because if you don't know how to do this, then you're probably just going to end up losing. All right, just being honest with you. If you can't figure out, what team to bet, what player prop to do and stuff like that, you end up just using the wrong data really to do it. Or you just go with your gut feeling and think that, oh, well, this team's going to win, or this player's going to go over this total or something like that. And in the long run, that stuff doesn't work. All right, you end up losing. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about first what bets that you need to focus on. All right, because this is important. Now, everybody wants to bet on the winner of a game. You guys want to bet on the total, but that's not where the value is most of the time. All right, now I get this all the time. I get DMs left and right when there's a big game coming up, and guess what? Oh, Frank, who's going to win this game? Is this game going to go over? Is this game going to go under? I'm not a wizard, guys, all right? I can't just pop it out of my head and be like, yeah, Celtics are going to win tonight. So that's not the way that the game works, all right? Data, analytics, all that stuff needs to line up in order to make a play. It's not just a guessing game, all right? It's truly not. A lot of people out there think that it's just a guessing game, and those that think that are closed-minded, and they'll never be successful in sports betting. Because if you think it's a guessing game, then why are you doing it, right? Shouldn't be doing something that you think is a guessing game, all right? But the bets that we need to focus on really are player props, okay? Because when you're finding probability, the probability in teams or totals is way more difficult, because there's a lot of variables that come into play here, all right? When you're trying to get a team to win, you're trying to get a total to go over or a total to go under, a lot has to go right, all right? A lot, all right? Not just one single thing needs to happen. I mean, a lot of stuff needs to go right. If you're picking an over, both teams need to be offensively great, right? If you're picking this team to win, well, this team needs to collectively come together, and they need to play well in order for you to win. All right? So, like I said before, the best thing we want to focus on more is going to be player props. Now, the reason behind that is because, just like I said, the opposite pretty much of what I just said, there's less variables with a player prop. All right? When you're doing a player prop, you're basically focused on one thing and one player, all right? And whatever happens that you choose, in that player prop, it's down to that one player. It's not down to anybody else. It's not down to a whole team collectively coming together, okay? Now, a lot of people will comment and will ask, when it comes to player props, doing like prize picks, underdog plays, all that stuff and everything like that. Yes, player props have less variables, but when you are forced to have to parlay all these together and everything to be able to make plays, you will be less successful. You will end up losing, because the probabilities go down drastically when you're adding 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, 5 players, all trying to get it correct. The probability of that happening is so slim that I'm telling you right now, most people that try to do it, they always fail, and they always come and ask me, literally DMs, guys. I get thousands of DMs, like weekly, thousands of DMs asking for just the dumbest stuff, asking for prize pick lineups, underdog lineups. Just like I said, if an NBA Finals game, who's going to win? Is the total going to go over? Like, come on. You got to be able to understand that you need to implement strategies in order to pick plays, not just betting the game because it's on TV and it's a big game, all right? And you need to focus on player props, singular player props, because then again, it's down to one variable. That player, that's it. That player is either going over or under the player prop that you chose, and that's that. All right, it's up to them. It's not up to a whole team. It's not up to anybody else, just that one player. All right, so your probability right there gets a little bit higher just because of that. All right, now, here's the thing I want to address, because it's just the truth. All right, so boring plays happen to be the best plays. All right. So nobody wants to bet on boring plays. Nobody likes betting unders. They just don't. The general public hates betting unders. Why? Because who wants to sit there and watch a boring game? You want to bet on under on baseball? Who wants to sit there and watch a pitcher's duel to where nobody scores any runs? Right? Your general public doesn't want that. They want excitement. They want high scoring. That's what the general public wants. So there leaves value in unders. All right? Unders for player props, unders for totals and stuff like that. Leaves value in those. But you got to be able to depict the value in that stuff. All right? Now, here's the thing is you need to understand when you're betting what you're doing this for. All right? Are you doing this for excitement? Are you doing this because you want to make some money? Are you doing this because you have an addiction and you can't stand to not have action on games? You need to understand why you're doing it. All right? If you're doing it for excitement, then you're more than welcome to do whatever it is that you want to do. All right? If you're doing it for excitement and you're not trying to make any money, you don't care if you lose money, do whatever it is that you want. Do your parlays, bet, gut feelings, do all that stuff. If you're doing it just because you want, to have some fun, I got no problem with that. There's certain people that want to do that. But now if you want to make money and you want to actually turn a profit to where like you can go to the sports book and take money from them rather than always going to them and having to pay, to put in your account, then you have to take it more serious. All right? And the third one, if it's an addiction and you got a problem, you need to just pretty much cut that out, all right? Because you're making bad decisions left and right regardless. Because if you just want action on games, you're just betting random stuff regardless because you just want action down, all right? But the second one, if you want to profit, you want to make money, you have to implement a plan. You got to have bankroll management. You got to have all that stuff lined up, to be able to be successful. Now, again, boring plays are usually the best plays to have. Because, like I said, they go overlooked. Just straight up. They go overlooked. All right? Now, here's the thing. Value and less sweat are found in boring plays. All right? Because, like I said, people, they want to bet the overs. Even player props, they want to bet the overs. Just like these media outlets, I think for the NBA Finals, Luka Doncic, they kept posting, like, he's 0-3 over his points total, 0-4 over his points total, 0-5 over his point. Like, they're baiting you, like they want you to bet the over. That's the thing. Everybody wants to bet an over because they want to sit there and watch action. They want to have it happen. They don't see the flip side there where you're like 4-0 if you bet the under. All right? They got to you guys got to understand that as sports bettors if you want to take it serious. All right? That there's a lot of value in unders. Now, I'm not saying just go blatantly start betting unders. That's not what I'm saying. You still have to find the value plays out there that are the unders. All right? Because they are out there every single day. They're out there. And I'm going to go through some examples with you guys as well using baseball, which you guys probably have never seen some of this stuff that I'm going to show you. So make sure you guys wait so that way you guys can see. All right. Now, again, these boring plays usually have higher probability of winning. All right. Over the years that I've done this and the research that I've done, I've noticed that the plays that you can't even really watch because it really is just completely boring, like those have high probability of hitting. All right, you just got to find them. All right, not every play or every boring player prop has high probability, but again, you got to go in and you got to find them because there's certain ones that do. All right, we're going to use baseball, like I said, for an example. I'm going to show you guys a player prop. We're going to go through this player prop literally from start to end, and I'm going to show you exactly why it's boring, why nobody's going to want to watch it, but why you have a huge edge on actually doing it. All right, so this MLB player prop is going to be a run scored under prop. This means that the player cannot cross home plate. All right? Doesn't mean that he can get a hit all he wants. As long as he doesn't make it around and somehow cross that plate, then you are good. All right? Now, just like I said, boring play, right? Because who wants to sit there and watch one player come up to bat and do absolutely nothing? All right? That's your excitement if you bet on that. You're watching a player come up and he does absolutely nothing, goes back, sits in the dugout. That's where your excitement should come if you're betting this. All right. So for example, we're going to use Wilmer Flores. All right. This is a San Francisco Giants guy. Now he bats 143 against the pitcher that he's facing this day. That I pulled this up and that I showed you guys. You guys probably can't see it, but I'll zoom in a little bit. There you go. Wilmer Flores, he has 21 at bats against this pitcher. He's only hit 3 times. All right, so on to the next here. Now, if you look, go into detail here, and see how many times Flores has scored a run this season. Now, the example that I used in that prior slide is batting average. Reason why is because if the guy can't hit, and he can't hit off of the pitcher that he's facing, less likely he's going to get on base, right? Unless he walks, but it's less likely he gets on base. All right, but now if you look at how many times Flores has scored a run this season, he's hit that number 16 out of 51 times. All right, so he's crossed the plate 16 out of 51 games. That's good for 26%. All right, what I got pulled up right here is just literally the player stats. All right, you can go on ESPN or anything like that. All right, you can go and pull it up. You'll be able to see the stats throughout the whole season or whatnot. That's not the full season. That's just a quick screenshot. All right, but 26% of the time he goes around and he crosses that plate. Terrible, right? Terrible. That's terrible. All right, 26%. So what does this mean? This means that we have a 74% chance that he doesn't cross the plate in the game that he's playing. 74% chance. All right. Remember how I talked about higher probability? This play is absolutely boring. This play is not going to have any excitement because you're watching the guy go to a plate. You want him to just strike out, go back to the dugout. That's all you want from him. All right. But guess what? 74% chance that this guy doesn't cross the plate in the game. Now let's go take a look at his odds. Now, actually, without looking at the odds real quick, you would think his odds are minus 200 probably or minus 220 or something like that, right? Well, when you pull it up, he's minus 154. All right? It's minus 154 to go under that number. So now let's go ahead and let's break down the odds here compared to that probability that I said. All right? Remember, 74% chance that this goes under that number of 0.5. So now let's go ahead and check out the percentages behind that. All right? So minus 154 right off the bat. Let's see. I'll zoom in here so you guys can see. 154 would be right up in the beginning of the 60 percentile here. All right? So about 61%. So right off the bat, the sports book is telling you at minus 154, he has a 61% shot of going under that run scored prop. All right? 61%. Now, what did we have? We went and did our own and went into the detail to find out what? He has a 74% chance of actually not going around and crossing home plate. All right, so you see the probability difference there. The probability difference there is 13%. So, thus, you're giving yourself an edge right there. All right, because the sports book is giving you a 61% shot when there's realistically a 74% shot of that actually happening. Now, this is, like I said, right here on this slide, is value. All right, you're getting a minus 154 play. Sportsbook thinks is 61%, and you're actually have a 74% shot at winning this bet. So you got a 13% edge there. All right, remember what I just showed you. All right, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do, write it down. But this is how you find true value. This is how you find value in plays. All right, on boring plays. Just like I said, this is a boring play. Like you're not going to be entertained by this play whatsoever. And it's a minus 154. All right? It's a minus 154, which you go out there and bet, a minus 154 money line team or whatnot. And you got to sit there all day and sweat that one out. All right? You got to sit there the whole game, and everything has to go right for that team to win. When you have this boring play, this guy needs to have four at bats and just not get on base pretty much. If he doesn't get on base, he can't score. All right? So understand that. All right? It's not exciting to watch, but the profit that's there is true value profit. It's giving yourself an edge. All right? Now, instead of getting the emotional feelings, of it's not exciting, it's not fun to watch, get the emotional feelings that you're winning. All right? Because when you win those type of bets and you set yourself up with higher probability bets, guess what? You're going to win more than you lose. That's just the way that it goes. That's how you become successful at sports betting. You find those plays that have higher probability, you exploit those plays, and guess what? You're winning 60 to 70% of the time, where people think that it's impossible for you to do. Like I said, I've did this for 5+ years, hit 60, 70%, and people think it's nearly impossible. I've even had people come on, and I've taught people exactly how to do it, and they reach 60, 70% year after year. All right, so it's not impossible to do. You got to find the right plays. People that are out there trying to find the minus 110s, trying to hit 55%, doing minus 110s, you guys are lost in the clouds. All right, you're lost in the clouds. The reason why is because you're playing a real guessing game. You're not playing any type of other game. You're playing a guessing game because you're not going to find high value, high edge plays in betting minus 110s. You're just not. You got to be able to fluctuate them and have a mix of all of it. All right. Maybe you find a plus money play that has value. Maybe you find a play that's minus 250 that has value because there's a 90% shot that, you know, it wins. It's your plays should be all over the place. It shouldn't be strictly minus 200s, strictly minus 150s, strictly minus 110s, strictly plus 100s. It shouldn't be like that. Your odds should differ throughout the whole entire year of you betting on sports. All right? That's what you need to understand. But again, it's boring to play these boring plays, and sometimes I'll give them out to guys, and I'll get messages, even though it wins, I'll get messages and people will be like, man, like, you know, is there any other like type of play to do? And it's like, no. Like, are you here to make money or are you here to have a good time? All right? Because we're here to make money. We're here to turn a profit. We're not here to just have fun watching the game. Yeah, okay, it's fun to watch the game or whatnot, but I'd rather make money watching the game rather than have an exciting bet and then guess what? I'm in the hole after the game's over with. And then I feel like shit. And then the next thing you know, I'm sitting there chasing other bets throughout the whole entire night, losing. All right? So having an edge is better than losing money just for pretty much excitement. All right? So remember that when it comes down to that stuff. All right? So what I just taught you here is high probability plays and setting yourself up to be able to be successful long term, mixing your odds up as you go. Because like I just showed you, we had a minus 154 there that the sportsbook would give you a 61% chance, but in real life, you had a 74% chance of not crossing the plate or anything like that. You find those plays on a daily basis, you are going to be successful. All right? If you go out every single day and you are looking at the game that's on TV because, you know, you got off of work and you want to go home and you want to have a beer and you want to watch the game and you want to have money on that game, so you're trying to figure out a play in that game. Guess what? You're most of the time, you need to realize that you're not doing that to be profitable. You're doing that for excitement. All right? You're doing that to not make any money. You're just doing that to have fun. All right? If you're there to make money, guess what? Most of the games you play are not going to be on TV. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. Most of the games are not going to be on TV. All right? If you like to watch the games that much, you'll subscribe to every single channel that's out there, so that way you could watch all the games that are on TV and have access to them. All right? But to be successful comes with a lot of boring plays, comes with a lot of betting unders here and there, not mostly, you know, betting overs, betting favorites teams. And I mean, you know, betting like minus 200 teams every single day, like stuff like that. That doesn't really go hand in hand. All right? You're going to be successful in this game when you find those edge plays. When you find the higher probability plays where you can actually make percentages that are high and hit consistently, then you're going to have fun regardless because you're going to be making money. When you make money, you're going to have fun. All right? The boring stuff, you'll learn to ignore. All right? You'll learn to ignore that, you know what? I'm betting on this guy's under. It's still fun to watch even just a guy's AB and you have money on him. Like, you'll get excitement out of that, you know, minute that he's at the plate, you know, but of course, like, not the whole entire game. But again, you're either in this to make money or you're in this to have fun. All right? You got to decide which one you're in here for. All right? And I'm here talking to you guys, expecting everybody that's watching this, you're in here to make money. You're not here to just have fun. Because I don't do this stuff just to have fun, and I don't preach this stuff to you guys so that way you guys can just go and have fun. All right? I preach this to you so that way you guys can profit, you guys can make money, and the billions and billions of dollars that the sportsbook makes every single month, well, we take a little cut of that. All right? So just realize that when it comes down to sports betting, you have to stay consistent. You got to find those higher probability plays. Once you do, you will be successful regardless. All right? I promise you that. As always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.